right, guys. Welcome to another episode of That CBD Girl podcast. I am your host, That CBD Girl. And this week we're going to be talking about who is using CBD. Last episode we heard from Kara, who suffers from chronic pain, and we got to hear some insight about how she's benefiting from cannabidiol or CBD. And this week we're going to get a little more in detail because CBD is used by other people, not just for pain. So we'll talk some more about that. And just remember, as a courtesy disclaimer, that the FDA does not test or approve CBD for medical use, and the statements made on this podcast are not intended to treat, cure, or diagnose any illness or disease. And for an update on me this week, as you guys know, I do own a CBD company. So this week we took the time to go out and visit our farm, which is industrial hemp, and that was pretty neat. It was definitely an experience, and we even got to see the babies growing. It's cool. Our farm actually has their own genetics, so they're not just out there cloning the same thing as others. So we kind of bring our own type to the table. And when we arrived back here in California, we actually released some new products, so that's pretty exciting. It's the whole Relieve line, so go ahead and head over to quartztradingco.com and check that out. It comes with a few select products that are personally my new favorites, so yeah, go check those out. It's bath season, so it's time to get your bath on with a CBD bath bomb. Alright, let's just get down to the business here. So who's using CBD? Is it for you? I get this question often because there's a lot of people, they're not sure, if they can give it to their child, if they should give it to their dog, their cat, any sort of pet. So I just want to clear the air up here and let you guys know that CBD is generally safe for all of these people. I don't know how far in you guys are to your research with CBD, but we actually have what's called an endocannabinoid system, and that's located in our body, and anything with a vertebrae basically has this. So most animals have it, and all humans. So the endocannabinoid system, aka the ECS, we discovered that in the early 1990s, and that's when scientists started to research how THC was affecting the body. So when they were researching this, they discovered that's how it interacts with us, through our endocannabinoid system. It's a pretty big and important system. It actually has parts to do with like our central nervous system, our peripheral nervous system, and the body's major organs. So we know that the ECS helps fine-tune many of our vital physiological functions, and it helps promote homeostasis. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know what that means, but homeostasis is basically our body's ability to maintain a stable environment. So, for example, how our body keeps its degree at 98.6 degrees, that is our body maintaining homeostasis. It's taking whatever environmental changes and it's making sure our body is withstanding through those and keeping a balance. So that's why the endocannabinoid system is the most important system in our body, because it's responsible for keeping all the other systems afloat. That's what led to the scientists discovering the receptors, because they found this system that's helping all these other systems function, and there are these receptors that are pulling natural cannabinoids out of the body and into these systems to help them function better. And once they discovered that the body has naturally occurring cannabinoids, that it was game on. They learned that we can extract it from the hemp plant and supplement our system with more cannabinoids, and that it did something. So, big breakthrough there, learning that, and nice to know, who has an endocannabinoid system and who can benefit from CBD. And it's actually interesting, when we were researching this, we found that there's actually what's called an endocannabinoid deficiency. And it's believed that this is like the root of most of the diseases, because if a system is off and the ECS isn't functioning correctly, which, it is responsible to make sure that every system is functioning at this stable level, then it can't help that system. So one starts to fail, and then an illness comes. And another thing to think about is how the deficiency occurs. And that goes back again to what we've talked about before, as the environmental toxins and the consumption of toxins through the food we eat and the air we breathe in. So technology, food, and the environment creates all this chaotic energy in our body, as well as toxins, and those lead to inflammation, which is the root of many chronic illnesses and disorders. So to get back onto point here, with who is using CBD, who can use it, should you use it, should your kid use it? Yes, the answer is yes, because everybody wants to stay in homeostasis. And if our bodies already have a system that's making these cannabinoids, it's just like protein. It does not hurt, or if anything, it's going to make it better if you supplement with more. And always that's supposed to be done in doses. And that leads to our next subject. How much should you give a person? How much should you give a child? Now, since they're smaller, their ECS systems are less developed, if you will. So the dosage for a child is going to be a lot less than it is for an adult. So adults range anywhere from, let's say, 40 to 100 milligrams a day, depending on their usage, the terms of their usage. So a child is probably going to benefit anywhere from 10 to 25 milligrams, maybe 30, 35, depending on the size of the child. And now you may be asking, why give it to my child? And here are some common reasons why someone would give CBD to their child. ADD or ADHD, autism, restless leg syndrome, cancer, seizures. So those are probably the top reasons why anybody would want to give their child some CBD. We'll dive deeper into mostly autism and ADD and ADHD in our next episode, but overall it's going to help them calm down. But with seizures, there's a YouTube video of a child that's been circulating for probably a couple years now, and it's pretty amazing. If you wanted to YouTube it, they give this child a dropper of CBD oil when he is in the middle of a seizure, and it's basically instantly he calms down. His body stops seizing up. He's able to relax. He's able to come back basically into his body. And that was a changing point when that was witnessed, and the government definitely started to do a lot of research after that. And since they've actually come up with a medicine called Epidiolex. It's FDA approved, which I know my disclaimer in the beginning said that CBD is not FDA approved. This is the only medicine that is FDA approved, and it is mixed with other ingredients. It's interesting, though, because it is still CBD. They did not, from what I understand, modify it, but they did add it to some other ingredients, which are supposed to help with the seizures, too. And a lot of the articles out there, they steer people away from using anything else for seizures, and that is something I want to touch on because it's important that you read it for what it is. That's the government talking. I mean, yes, they make our rules and whatnot, but they're always going to push their medicine. And they do have a point, because a lot of the articles, they say don't use anything else because it's not what it is. And that is definitely true. Remember my last episodes, I have the four rules you should follow when you're purchasing CBD. And that goes for anything. I mean, definitely be looking for research to back up what they're saying. Lab tests, definitely make sure that all the ducks are in the row before you purchase the product, because a lot of products out there that are in the grocery stores, that are in your Whole Food stores, I mean, they may be a pretty reputable store, but you have to pay attention to what you're buying. I know I go look at these items all the time just to kind of see what's out there. And I looked on the back of a bottle of capsules one day, and this was in Alasans. And the dosage, it doesn't say on the front, so you look in the back in the nutritional facts, and the dosage is 5 to 10 capsules. One bottle was 5 capsules, and you're only getting 5 milligrams of CBD. The other bottle was 10 capsules, and you were only getting 5 milligrams of CBD. So that's pretty crazy. If you're really looking for benefits of CBD, I mean, you definitely want a little bit more than that. So not to say that they're wrong about steering people away from other CBD products that aren't this Epidiolex. It's just that that's not all the way true. Because it's not fully regulated by them, there are a lot of companies, just like any other industry, that there are people that are money hungry and just want to make a quick buck, and they cut corners. So don't trust everything you read. Well, another thing I was reading, though, that was stated in their article about the FDA-approved pharmaceutical grade CBD oil, when they were doing the tests for it, that the people who actually ingested the CBD oil, they ended up with more gastrointestinal issues and also sleepiness than the patients that had the placebo. So that was pretty interesting. Some ended up having to leave the whole entire study because it was so bad. So that's weird. I don't know. I use CBD daily. I know plenty of other people that use CBD daily, and never have we ever heard of any sort of intestinal issues like that. So it kind of makes you wonder what else they're mixing that with, and, you know, are they just using the CBD to just have it in there and take control? So now that we know that CBD is safe for kids, one other that we didn't touch on is the animals. CBD is also safe for your furry friends. Yes, your little dog, your little cat, your little rabbit, whatever pet you may have that is suffering from anxiety, that is suffering from restless issues, pain, cancer. You can give your animal CBD, and I mean, I'm not going to guarantee it, but you'll probably see a difference. You know, personally, I give it to my animals, and they love it. They definitely act different and more upbeat and seem all around happier throughout the day. And I know that I've had a lot of customers also tell me the same thing, mostly with older dogs that are suffering because of their old age. The CBD gives them kind of a second wind. So, you know, they're going from laying around all day in pain to wanting to play and engaging with their owners. So it's really cool to see CBD work for pets, because their endocannabinoid systems are a little smaller than the average human being, so they take to it really well. And what's cool about giving CBD to your animals and your children is there are no side effects. I mean, if there are, it's just they might be sleepier than normal. The side effects are not dangerous or life-threatening to your child like most medicines could potentially be. And even if you give your child too much their first time, or they accidentally get into it, I don't know, God forbid, but it's not going to hurt them. That's the beauty in this medicine. It's so natural. You can keep it in your medicine cabinet. You don't have to worry about, you know, your child getting into the packaging or your dog getting into the packaging like you do with a cannabis, aka marijuana type of product. You know, you don't have to worry about them getting high. And I think that pretty much sums up, you know, the question of who can use CBD. And if there are any more questions, if you feel like I haven't acknowledged you or the someone you know or the